Hello, everybody. Welcome to GHB Spotlight. I'm James Lott Jr. here on JLJ Media, and I have in front of me the guy who plays Cody Bell, or soon to be Cody Bell Scorpio, I guess, Josh Kelly.
Yeah, I wonder if you could
That
take.
have hair now. Everybody knows you are a Scorpio, and I'm just wondering, will he change his name to Scorpio one day? We don't know.
I don't know. That would be kind of cool, Cody Scorpio.
It's a good name.
Yeah, because the Bells were just the horse people on the
Yes.
common folk. I'm a Scorpio, darn it.
About horse people. Well, no. See now, okay. Now you give me. Okay. Speaking of names, before we get into the horses, I gotta ask you about the horses. I'm a total equestrian. Josh Kelly. So that name, of course, brings up the singer who spells it differently. Kelly is different. Who's married to Katherine Heigl. So
Yeah,
do you ever? So how does that even work in the business? Like, I mean, your name's spelled differently, so you're okay, I guess, right?
I almost had to change my name to a different name for acting reasons when I joined the Screen Actors Guild. Uh, because you have a when you fill out when you're a must join or whatever, you fill out a SAG form. You put your real name and your desired stage name, and then you have like three alternates. And I made funny ones because I saw there were no Josh Kellys in the Screen Actors Guild. I did like a search, and I was like, all right, sweet. There's a Josh Kelly, but he spells it wrong. Uh, and there's an Irish song called "You Better Take the E Out of Your Kelly Before I Kick the L Out of You" because
I didn't know that. Oh my
it
god!
was pretending to be Scottish. So there are like Kellys that hate Kellys with EYs. It's like a big thing. I almost got, well, I didn't almost get, but these two very large Irishmen, I saw they had a truck. They taught me this. They had a truck with the Kelly brothers, and I was like, "Hey, I'm a Kelly," and they were like, "Is it with an EY or a Y?" And I was like, "It's a Y." And he's like, "All right, otherwise we would have beat the shit out of you." Pardon me. I don't know if I can
That's
curse.
fine.
Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine.
Pardon me, everybody.
Yes.
Um, anyways, so I was doing a movie that never got released with Christopher Lloyd. So I was like pretty cocky. I was a young buck back in 2006, and SAG called and they were like, "Do you really want to go by Josh Kelly?" And I was like, "No, I want to be Josh Kelly." And they were like, "Well, there's already a Josh Kelly." I was like, "His name's spelled differently." And they said, "Well, we don't go by spelling, we go by sound." And because I was confident at the time, I was like, "Well, that's actually really fortunate because my name is Nicholas Kelly, Joshkelly, Nicholas." And they're like, "All right, Mr. Kelly, you can use, if it's your legal name, you can use it because they don't want like everyone becoming an actor and saying I'm Tom Cruise and then you know."
I didn't know about this sound thing. I thought the spelling thing was a major deal.
I think it's changed since technology has advanced.
Exactly. I love it. Okay, I want to get into the horses because I'm a big horse person. There's a lot of us in the business who are into horses a lot into that, and they always say, "Don't work with children and animals." You work with both a
I
lot,
work with both often.
all the time. I think it's hilarious. But with comment, no, so like I see, I've been to G. I know the sets are small. Like, how does it? Just give me some insight to how that set is set up. That stable set is set up.
Uh-huh.
They have the horses
Um,
there.
well,
Right.
they have a swinging wall at the back of the stable, and they just they bring the horse up one of the freight elevators, and then just walk him in, and he's got padded rubber like booties,
Okay.
and there's imaginarily there's a whole bunch of stables that go past there, which I didn't know until like later on that like one of the directors pointed out, and they're like, "Oh, and you walk this way, like kind of towards the camera, and
Yes.
go to the other stable." I was like, "Oh, there's more horses here. I hadn't thought about that." My stinky apartment.
I know you live there. I'm like, you live above a horse. I mean, I've
I
must.
think I think you get to see my apartment maybe next week.
Woo! That's
First
exciting.
time. It's swanky. Cody's got a swanky digs.
Yeah, but I hope you have air freshener and candles in there. Yes, because I'm thinking I've been to stables. I'm like, they don't always smell the greatest. Uh,
No,
so yes. So it's kind of, so it's so obviously must be a horse trainer on set, obviously, and or a horse hand.
yeah, they're there tends to be a team of two people that come. The horses, they seem very happy. They're highly trained. They're just chill every time. Comet's super chill. Leche is his real name.
Oh, how about I know that? Let's say I love that. No,
Yeah.
wait. So when you're feeding him, when you're feeding him the carrot stuff, you really are feeding him the carrots. Though. You just like,
Yeah, I mean, they obviously they were like, "Are you good with?" And I was, "Yeah, I'm good with horses." But I and then I like did one take where I like took a bite and then fed it to him, and then they just started writing that in.
yeah.
They'll on shows like this, they'll use they watch you for the first couple months and kind of see
Uh,
what you're good at, and then write for you.
that's true. I remember one of your colleagues I interviewed. They were like, "You're good. She's good with eating in scenes. Like, so, you know, it's hard to eat in scenes. It's not easy.
Yeah,
And they go, yeah. Once they saw I was eating very well in scenes, they always have me in scenes eating food. I started laughing. And go, that yes, not. That's not easy. I mean, that's not easy.
that is a skill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jane Elliott, my love.
Yeah.
Uh, she hates using props, and I think it aired last week. We played backgammon, and she was like, don't you guys know? I don't do props. I don't like it. I'm not good at it."
Okay, I mean, so you must know, especially for ABC television. I mean, all soaps, of course. Jane Elliott is a legend. I mean,
Yes,
it's a legend to us. I mean, the fans just like protect her at all costs. We need her for the rest of our lives.
she's
Um,
amazing.
they put you in her orbit, and we started seeing. So, as one of those, did it chem test? You know, we say chem test, but you know what I mean, like not chem in like that way, but chem. Did they chem test you guys? Kind of thought me they did at
I
first.
feel like they just can tell when people start work, or they knew ahead of time that it would work out. I don't know, but we got along right from the get go. I was really nervous the first time I had to do a scene with her, so I super prepared, and we ended up having a great time. And now, while we she's my on-set girlfriend. I love it.
And I love it too. I think it really comes across. It really does come across that you guys are allowed to be each other, your characters to be yourselves around each
Yeah,
other. I think
yeah,
that's
it's really nice, and I love working with her. She's a really good actress.
another good actress you work with who just we think she was robbed of Emmy nominations and Emmys is Sophia Matson.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
stuff that she's had, her characters had to go. Her character has had to go through over the last few years. She's up to the challenge, and then you kind of come in on the tail end of some of that,
mhm.
and act opposite of her. What has it been like acting with Sophia?
She's great. She and I did a movie together, like a Lifetime movie, like 5 or 6 years ago. 7, I don't know, whatever. All a blur, and the pandemic doesn't count, so everything's like -4 years.
That's
Uh,
true. That's true. That's true.
like if you didn't get to celebrate a birthday, then you didn't age, right? That's
You and
my
I both we're Tauruses, and
uh,
I'm in May. I'm May 10th.
okay.
And when that pandemic hit, that first one, we didn't have birthday. We didn't have a birthday. We were in lockdown. There was
Yeah,
nobody doing nothing for March, April, May, June babies. We didn't have nothing.
I know.
Not fair.
It's not fair.
we
That's
got to,
my parents' anniversary is your birthday.
oh, May 10th. See, great thing. But so you and Sophia worked in a movie together. So did you recognize her when you came?
Yeah. I did a movie called My Husband's Secret Wife. I played the husband, and actually Sophia's sister Helena played my wife, and then and Brianna Evigan played my secret wife,
Oh, yeah.
and Sophia played Helena's sister in the movie. And so it was cool to. I always love when I work with someone that I've worked with before. It makes me feel like a real actor. Like I'm a grown up actor boy. Um, and this General Hospital was one of the was a great example. I mean, Roger Howarth had been on One Life to Live. Michael Easton also had been on One Life to Live. He was like the first person to, like, pull me aside, and after a couple months, he's like, "Is everything good? You enjoying the show?" And
Oh my God, you sound like him. That's so funny.
he's great. he's a great guy
I
and a
know-
great actor.
no,
Tanisha Harper.
so I want to say something. He's also a great graphic novelist. I have his
I
graphic.
know, I know, and I'm a big comic book guy.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. I just want to mention that.
Uh,
He's
Tanisha Harper and I did our first TV show together in 2006. Isn't that funny?
what?
Yeah,
Now,
Desire.
was she as beautiful then too as she is now?
She's a vampire, man.
Oh
Like
my god!
she's just an ageless, gorgeous beauty.
I saw her at the Emmys a couple of years ago, and she literally glided across the Emmy carpet. I didn't see her touch the ground. She just like
I'm telling you, it's like Gary Oldman and Dracula when he just floats. Like she's something, but not evil, not evil
yeah, not
vampire.
evil, not evil.
Good
Okay.
vampire.
So wait. So you got to what a TV show? What TV show was that?
It was called Desire. It was I've been on a lot of attempts. Um, it was when the CW and UPN combined to create and then My Network TV. There was an empty channel, and so My Network TV started, and we were the show that launched it. They were trying primetime like soap operas, like a telenovela style, and we were a show called Desire. We were at the time the lowest rated primetime TV show in history. So
It's always going to be something that's in your in history. In history,
um,
we made it.
but it was fun. I learned so much. You know, we shot non-sequential, like more like a regular show. It was single camera, but it was a soap opera, and so the sets moved, and it was confusing as hell. But we shot like 65 episodes in 3 months, I think, and I was only like 19, so I got to watch and learn, and my character was small. It was great.
Wait a minute. So have you been in business like 20 years?
Yeah, yeah.
You look like you're like 25.
I've intentionally not gotten famous.
Well, I mean, you're saying something that does happen. Folks understand this. There are a lot of pilots, shows, movies, things that don't get released, you get cut out of. They happen for a minute. They don't, I mean, it's just part of the business. I mean, like that does
Yeah,
happen. So when we see you on screen, it's almost a miracle sometimes when something goes to screen. I mean, like I mean, something like,
yeah. And sometimes some shows. I was on a show called Unreal that did
yes.
really well, but no one really saw it. However, coming to Netflix today. So Unreal is on Netflix starting today.
I saw that. I remember Unreal because I was a that cover. But yes, isn't that funny? See, you never know.
I feel like I'm on a new TV show.
Well, to some people, you are. I
Yeah,
mean, they'll be like, "Who's that guy?" I don't know who you are. And they don't watch soaps. You
yeah,
are on the show on Netflix.
yeah. I'm on a Netflix show now.
I think so.
I made it, Mama.
Well, maybe so. You were in the armed forces, weren't you, before that?
I was.
Thank you
I
for your
was.
service. Obviously, thank you.
Yeah, well, you're welcome.
But you were so. But when you decided, I think I read something you got hurt, and that happens. And you decided going there. Was acting something you thought about before that, and just put off to the side, or did it come to you after you left?
No, I joined the army so I could do action movies. Like I wanted. I knew I would never. I wouldn't like go to Juilliard and then or I probably would have gone to a state school for money wise, but I would have majored in drama and theater, and I wouldn't have ever done anything like the military after college. You know. So I figured I was kind of done with school for a little bit. I wasn't a terrible student, but I'm not the best at turning things in if they seem boring. I love exciting projects. I came up with an algebraic equation that was 2 steps shorter than the book in high school. So I love like innovating things, but I really didn't like just mundane tasks. That's one of the reasons I loved theater so much. It is a challenge. It is scary memorizing lines and trying to emote and going in front of people and getting on stage. But yeah, I wanted to test my metal and see if I could do it. And the intention was always, I think that's why I was good in the military, because for me, I knew I was only doing it for 4 years. For other guys, they were like, is this gonna be forever? And so they'd like quit during difficult things. And for me, it was like, well, I can do it for another hour. I can do it for another week. I'm only doing it for 4 years total, so it's fine. Because I was in a special operations unit. I was in a Ranger unit.
You are it's very Taurus of you. I completely understand that. I joined a baseball team to go to Hawaii
Yeah.
at 9 years old. That was my whole thing. I said, okay, I'm gonna play a whole season. I'm gonna help us win. And he said, if we win, we'll play Hawaiian teams. We'll go for a week and play. We won and went to Hawaii for a week.
Oh, that's awesome. That's smart.
And I got trophies and everything. And I got to go to Hawaii. I want to go to Hawaii. That's my whole thing. I want to go to Hawaii. So I played baseball. I didn't play it ever again.
Uh-huh. That's funny.
That was it. So it's very Taurus of you. Like we know, like we're ready. Like okay, we have a mission. We're going to complete it. We can handle it, and we're going, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I love that. But what is one thing about the military that you use in acting?
Well, there's a pretty direct correlation to what I noticed. I noticed when I started acting classes, because as soon as I got out, I moved out to LA, and I just dove deep into acting, into studying acting and training. And everyone talked the same way that everyone talked about, like in basic training, everyone was all excited about how we were all going to be Rangers together and do special operations missions and and then all of a sudden, like people just started quitting, like once things got hard. and and I really noticed that they weren't failing so much. I mean, sometimes you'd fail at stuff, but you could almost always try again in like different schools and stuff. And then, but people would quit before they'd even fail because it seemed hard. And the same thing happened in acting. And there's only two of us from like my original acting classes back at like Groundlings and Playhouse West and stuff, that stuck it out, and we're both working, and everyone else like quit and started. And so I think I really noticed that in any difficult field, the big difference is gutting it out, like sticking to it.
Yeah,
Like it's not for everyone.
it's not. And so I'm assuming that carries over to the abnormally fast, high, chaotic pace of soaps. Because
Yeah,
just
I mean, also the work ethic. Like when you have to work hard. And soaps, yeah, and also movies feel a lot like a military mission. You have like a base camp. You have all these like ads running around, running like doing things, and logistics and planning and transpo, and you got to get in before a certain time. It's a lot like running a military operation. It's pretty cool.
that's true. I've done a few movies. Um, Now, when it comes to stage, how did you keep it fresh? If you did a play or something that was several nights a week or several performances a day, like how did you keep it fresh?
um I mean, the acting school that I first like studied mostly at was Playhouse West, which is a Stanford Meisner based training. So you kind of pinch ouch, and so every reaction has to be a reaction. And so that kind of helps, is just working off of your scene partners. um and also, I guess I like to try different things, not completely different things, but I like to try and live truthfully in the moment, in any of my performances. So I almost always mix things up, if anything, to keep myself from boredom. But I've never done a long production of a play, so I can't really speak to whether or not, or how I would do it. Um, I'll do it someday.
Someday. Is there anyone on General Hospital you have not worked with yet that you would like to?
Yes. Uh, Mora West.
Or the
I
Queen?
I really want to. I just want a couple scenes or something. We don't need a huge storyline. Great.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how that would actually happen. So she's the
I
Queen.
don't. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but
I know, but that'd be a trip. It was Cody and Ava. Cody and Ava. Interesting.
Finola too. Finola. I like Finola. I like watching her. I like interacting with her. And they're both very strong actresses, and I'd like to. It'd be fun to work with them.
So now Cody's anchored. So now it's kind of anchored. And they always say in the business because now you have this family with I mean, all these. I mean, I know all of them. The talent that just pool from there, from Christina Wagner to Kirsten Storms to I mean everything.
Yeah.
I mean, so now you're tied to. We said earlier Scorpio, like the names. Now you're tied to legend. You know, John J. York, who went through a really serious thing this last year too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good to see him back. He looks great. So what's it like working with him? So now you're going to start doing these father-son dynamics coming up soon.
He's just such a great guy, and it really was a bummer that he left. He didn't talk about it. He didn't tell people. He just kind of moved to Tennessee right when we were becoming like right when our storyline started to develop, and we would go on hikes together and talk, and I was building a relationship with him, and then he had and obviously he had good reason. It was for family and for treatment. But I'm so glad that he's okay.
Yes.
That really, I compartmentalize my feelings, but that would have really wrecked me. I don't understand how people handle. I don't understand how Christina handles tragedy, and how I don't really understand how anyone handles tragedy well. I do not think I would be able to. I'm a little.
Oh, same here. Trust me, I know.
Plus,
Ooh. And you and Christina had great scenes together too over last year.
she's such a sweet person.
Yeah.
Best.
But yeah, I guess you got some good scenes. I guess you legend too. I mean, another GH legend.
I know.
I mean,
I love watching. Because I watched in high school, and I remember seeing John York, and I was like, that guy looks cool. I hope I look like him someday. And now I get to play his son, which is cool. Because my sister watched General Hospital, and then I would watch it because she was and then I got into it. But I love watching. Like, I've watched older clips, and I love watching clips of people from back in the 80s and stuff that I'm working with now. Also, I was doing a movie a couple months ago, and we were calling it Double Dragon because it's me and another guy just like fighting through a whole like mob like mafia boss and stuff. And then I was watching the Double Dragon movie in my trailer, not Matthew Fox, whatever. And Christine is like the first person who shows up in it. And she's like the whip girl, and not. I think her name was like Liz Lash or something, or Whip Lash.
Yes,
that was a boring story, and I apologize for telling it, but it's true. It's a true story.
Yeah. That's like what I had Sean Kanan on. He used to be on General Hospital, of course. He's not there, still my buddy. He was like,
that guy from Karate Kid 3. Yes, I'm
familiar. Cobra Kai, and also that's my buddy. He's like, I'm Born Beautiful right now, but he was like, yeah, and I was telling me the story, and he's like, about Suzanne Summers. They were together on Step by Step, whatever. And he goes, yeah, Brad Mall, who was Tony on GH, was also the bartender at the Regal Beagle on Three's Company. Like, he said this whole story. He goes, I was like, I love stories. I love hearing stuff like that. I mean, I could, because these folks have been around a long time too.
Yeah, me and Chloe and I just watched, my girlfriend Chloe Lanier.
My buddy. She knows that's my girl.
Oh yeah?
She tell you she loved me and her, we love each other. You talk to James Lott Jr. today, and she'll totally. I've known her.
Chloe, I'm talking to James Lott Jr. right now.
Is he? We love each other. I interviewed her, God, 8 years ago, one of her first interviews when she was on General Hospital. I interviewed her again about 3 years ago. I mean, I love her. I didn't realize you guys. I love Chloe. She's so talented.
I love her too. She's insanely talented.
I mean, seriously talented. I mean, like, she needs to be in huge productions, and just, I mean, I just think
I know. We're working on it. Anyway, but we watched Jane's Elvis movie, Change of Habit.
Yes, that's right.
Buy it on DVD. It was great.
Oh my God.
She's the same as she was in the 60s. She's great. Really beautiful.
I know, I love it. But yeah, Chloe's my girl. I love you some Chloe. I didn't realize I love it.
Chloe's my girlfriend.
Well, she's your girlfriend. I love her pieces also, but she's yours. Love her to pieces. She's great. Okay, so no, one of the last things I want to ask you just is, I mean, being on a soap opera is very different than being in movies and television and just in pilots and stuff. And so, how are you handling all of that? And, you know, there's social media, there's life, there's this. You know, you're busy on set working. You know, see everything, do public appearances. Like, what is that like for you? Because I mean, you have fans. You have fans. I mean, like now you're on a show that everybody kind of watches. You have
Mhm.
fans.
Yeah, I mean, I was always taught, and I would like to think that I would have liked the fans anyways, but sometimes people don't really appreciate it. I think when people become too successful, fortunately I haven't become too successful too fast. But sometimes when people become very successful very fast, they don't really appreciate what they have, and the fact that if you don't have fans, then you don't have a show. So like you don't have a job if you don't have fans.
Very
Uh,
true.
as artsy as you are and as much of an artist, like it doesn't really matter if people don't watch. Um, and so, but my dad always told me a story about Jimmy Stewart like being good to the fans, and like and it really resonated with me. And I love meeting fans, and I love that people watch the show. I appreciate, and I think it's really fascinating and cool. When we were in Memphis last year, I met a woman who has been watching for 62 years. She was 8 years old when the show started, and she has watched every episode, and that's incredible. And I'm really honored to be on a show that's been a part of, like, been in some people's lives the only consistent thing that they've ever had. Like, it's really incredible, and I'm honored that I'm a part of. I'm a Scorpio, and it's neat. It's really neat.
Yeah, I
And
took.
it's
All right, please go ahead.
Well, as far as like acting wise, I mean, it's the best training you can have, and it's not just training, because you have to be good. Like, it's not like you should learn how to act on a soap. But I mean, I was honestly, I had done One Life to Live, and I hadn't done a soap for over 10 years, over a decade, and I I missed. It's like going back to almost not boot camp, but like rejoining a special forces unit. It's more like doing that, because the up tempo is so fast, and you have to stay sharp, and it's really fun.
Yeah, no, I tell all the time that this, you know, this medium is one of the few mediums where you're produced nearly year round. There's no real. We had a couple of in the pandemic. The first year we kind of had some weird break, but it's usually year round, all the time, in your living room, in now on your phone, in your on the way wherever it is, and people generationally have grown up with this. I mean, it's a generational thing, and I don't take it lightly either. My shows that I do here are very successful too, because without the fans, they're watching me. I'm not even on the show. If I do a show about the show and it's successful, that's
Uh-huh.
how this community is. When you think about it, it's not frivolous at all. I think for a
Yeah,
lot of people, it's
I
safe.
have I have movie star friends that admit that they would not be able to do this. Like, they're like, I could never be successful on a soap opera. Uh it's difficult, and I have so much respect for the people that have done it for years, and the people, my coworkers, and it's cool.
Not only do it, but also make it look natural. That's
Yeah,
right. To make it look like you said, stay in the moment. Like you said earlier, to stay
or
in the
make it interesting. Like, it's very fascinating, and I'm still obviously still learning. I'm always going to be learning, but I'm trying to make it as good as I can for everybody.
Well, Otter, you're doing a good job. And folks,
Thanks.
you can watch Josh Kelly without the extra E on General Hospital every single day on ABC or Hulu. It is one of the top 10 shows on Hulu every day. So,
Always, and that's cool. I appreciate everyone watching it on Hulu.
yes, which is kind of full circle for you. It's kind of
Yep, we finally made it on Hulu. We finally made it.
he probably did. And of course, I'm James Lott Jr. GHB Spotlights every Sunday. We always do it on Sundays. Check us out there. Go to our website and check out all of our episodes, YouTube, JLJ Media. And we want to thank Josh for being on the show. I want to thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.